first of all, hi. How is everybody doing? I got a lot of thumbs up, so that's good. Um, so welcome to your capstone class. Now, this class or the people in this group right now is a combination of both capstone classes for the certificate and the associate. So it's two classes put together just so we can get that same information put out. Okay. That being said, for those of you who don't know me, most of you, if not everybody, knows me. But for those of you who don't know me, I am Chef Larissa, and I'm going to be your instructor for this class. We're going to try to run through this fairly quick, but there is a whole lot of information to give to you guys. Um, I know we're at the beginning of the semester. We already know that we're going to go through the syllabus, but our syllabus is a little different simply because you are a capstone class. And we will be reviewing a lot of information that's you're going to be using for the success of your capstone career or capstone class. Okay. Very first thing, we're going to go ahead and get started with our syllabus. And pull it up here. Let me share my screen. Now, when I share my screen, I don't always get to see your chat messages. So at any point in time, y'all, if you have any questions, I do ask that you guys just jump right in, ask questions. A lot of questions will be answered throughout the description or throughout this recording, I guess. But we are going to discuss a whole lot of things. And if I can't see your chat because you typed something in, I do apologize. Your best bet is to unmute your microphone and just ask the question. All right. That being said, let's make sure. Can you all see my screen? Oh, wait. Let me change that. There you go. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Perfect. All right. So right off the bat, we're going to go over the syllabus. If I talk too fast, please slow me down. Those of you, like I said, most of you have had me as an instructor already. You all know I have a tendency of going pretty fast sometimes. So I do ask that you stop me, slow me down, tell me to speak clearer, whatever. All right. All right. So for your capstone, so now this one here says capstone PSTR 1306. I'm sorry, 1306. That's cake decorating. Just kidding. PSTR 1264. That is going to be for the certificate. 2264 is going to be for the associates. So for now, we're going to go over, like I said, the class is exactly the same. Okay, so it's built the same, it runs the same way. All right, so this one is going to be for certificate, but again, for everybody. All right, so if you look at here, this is your course description. The course is a capstone experience. For those of you who don't know what capstone is going to be like an internship, meaning you're going to go out into the community, out into the real world to work. You're going to have essentially a job. And instead of money, you're being paid hours, right? Hands-on experience. I go so, and honestly, hands-on experience means a lot more than money sometimes. So just kind of keep that in mind. All right. So this certificate, this course is a capstone experience for the certificate and associates, right? Students. This course provides a practical general workplace training supported by an individual learning plan developed by your employer, your college, and the student. This is for the certificate. It is a prerequisite of the second semester standing in commercial baking certificate. For the associates, it's going to be the fourth semester. Okay. That being said, this is going to be my contact information for this semester. We do have some hours set aside for office hours. So if you have any questions or you need to get a hold of me, I will be in my office at this time right in here. All right, so Tuesdays at 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. here at the Pecan campus. These are all going to be at the Pecan campus. Thursdays from 1:30 to 3:30 p.m. And then on Fridays from 1:30 to 2:30 p.m. If you need to meet with me, whether it's like this via Teams, via video, via Pronto, via phone call, or if you want to just come in and talk to me, I should be in my office around this at this time. And if I'm not literally in my office, I will be around here in the kitchen somewhere. That probably means we're busy doing things. If you need to meet me outside of these hours, you can always send me a pronto message or give me a call or an email so we can set up a specific time for you and I to meet. Because remember, we also have other classes, okay? And if you're not aware just yet, we do have a new department chair, and that's going to be Chef Joanna Martinez. All right. And then this is her information, her office, and her phone number if you need to get a hold of her. We always want to remember, so if you look up here, we always want to remember that there is a chain of command, meaning the people above us, we're all very busy people in the world, but the people above us just get more busy and more busy. That's why they get paid the big bucks. So we always want to, if there's ever any issue or anything that we need to discuss, it's always a good idea to do it with your instructor first, whoever that instructor may be. Do that, try to solve any problems or any issues you might have, any concerns with your instructor. And if that instructor or you and I can't figure it out, then we move on to Chef Joanna, and then we incorporate other people if need be. Okay. So kind of please be aware of that. All right. Outcomes. Now, I am going to go over the syllabus. I did forget to mention. I am going to go over the syllabus. I don't want to take too much of your time, but I do want to go over the syllabus. There's some things that I have to do. But remember that this is an online class as far as meeting with the instructor. So what that means is that you are going to need to read this a little slower on your own time to make sure you understand everything, okay? Um, so let's move on. Program learning outcome. So outcome is going to be the goal. What is the goal of this class? What is the purpose of it? So you do have these outcomes here. This is for the program itself, culinary arts in baking. And then the course is going to be the goals for this specific class. All right. So program learning outcome is going to be students will be able to demonstrate technical proficiency in the kitchen. All right. And then all of these things here pretty much says it's an outlined in the learning plan, apply theory, concept, and skills involving specialized materials, tools, equipment, procedures, regulations, laws, and interactions within and among political, economic, and environmental, social, and legal systems associated with the occupation and the business industry. Those are some pretty big words from culinary, from in general, right? But pretty much says that you're going to have to apply all the things you've learned in your previous culinary classes, along with the rules and laws that you're supposed to follow for sanitation and safety, all those food handling laws, and all the things you've learned on how to use your tools and equipment and all of that, your skills, you're going to get all of that information and apply it out into the real world, all right? We'll demonstrate legal and ethical behavior, safety practices, and interpersonal and teamwork skills. Remember, if you've ever had me in class, I've always told you all, you don't get to pick and choose who you work with. You have to learn how to work with people, all right? So team skills and appropriate writing and verbal communication skills using terminology in occupation and of the occupation and the business and industry or slash industry, all right? Pretty much, again, going back to Chef Larissa saying, make sure you do your spell checks, make sure you do your grammar. We want to make sure we learn how to learn how to speak and write professionally, learn our terminology, all of that stuff that you've learned in school as far as vocabulary words, the word temporary, the word nappe, all that stuff, all the stuff you've learned in your previous classes. All right. All right. How we're going to learn our grades. So everybody's good so far? All right. Remember, just stop me if you need me. All right. Our grade is going to be coming out in here. Right. So your grading criteria, just like previous classes, we work off of point system. And so as you turn things in, as you're collecting your hours, you're earning points. All right. And so anywhere, if you have earned yourself, remember I use the word earned because I don't give you anything. You earn your stuff, right? If you've earned yourself 900 to 1,000 points, you get an A. If you've earned yourself 800 to 899 at the end of the semester, you get a B. Anywhere between 700 to 799, you get a C. If you've earned yourself anywhere between 600 and 699, there's a D. And then anywhere under 599 points is an F, unfortunately. In addition to that, in Capstone, you will have to earn yourself 256 hours of Capstone hours. If at the end of the semester, you earn your points even up here, but you do not reach your 256 hours, you drop down to an F and you have to repeat the course. So it's going to be very important that you keep track of your hours and that you obtain your 256 hours. And I'm going to go over all of that, okay? All right, so in addition to the hours that you've worked, so you're going to be earning these points here to earn your grade. Your learning plan is 50 points. 2 people out of the 2 classes have already earned themselves 50 points because they filled out their learning plan. If you look at your messages, your learning plan is due, I believe, end of day today. Right. Now your learning plan, which we're going to talk about here in a little bit, is 50 points. Surveys and logs, excuse me, are going to be a total of 300 points for the semester. There is an end of semester essay at 100 points. You will be submitting a resume with an approval letter at 100 points. Evaluation of location, which is you doing an evaluation of the place where you're collecting your hours, is going to be worth 50 points. And throughout the semester, your supervisor, your direct supervisor, will be filling out 3 evaluations, a total of 400 hours, just kidding, 400 points. All of that will accumulate to give you a score up here, okay? We're gonna go over each and every one of these, and then we're gonna go over it in the syllabus, and then we're going to just show you where to submit it in Blackboard, right? This is probably what's gonna take the longest, so please bear with me, and again, stop me if you have any questions, okay? All right, so our learning plan is going to be this first one up here. All students will complete a learning plan used to guide their experience throughout the course. In this document, you will record your future goals and how you want to how you want this experience to facilitate reaching your established goals. There's going to be a link to this document that will be due on the first week, basically. Now, the learning plan. The learning plan is going to ask you what your goal is, what your future plan is. It's going to ask you where you live, contact information, things like that. Now, the purpose of the learning plan and why it's due today is so we can get you out into the field. Seeing what your goal is, seeing your future goal, seeing where you live will allow us to find a location or assist you with a location. Okay, let's talk about locations real quick. So a location, it's going to go 2 different ways. You will be assigned a location. I will work and I will do my best to find a location that is closest to you and meets your goal. Meaning, if you are planning to, I don't know, run a cafe or have a cafe later in your future, I'm going to try to place you in a cafe-like setting. If you are planning on decorating cakes and you want to own your own cake decorating business, I am going to try to find a location where they do that kind of stuff near where you live. So I'm going to do my best, but that is why it's super important that you turn that in ASAP. Okay. That being said, give me one second. Okay. That being said, if you do it, so that's option 1 is that I find a location for you and you make contact, and we'll talk about that. You'll make contact with them. And that's where you do your capstone hours. Option number 2 is either you already work somewhere or you find your own location. Just keep in mind that the longer it takes for you to find a location you're losing valuable time, which means you're losing valuable hours. Keep that in mind, okay? What I mean by that is if you say, I don't like the place that you sent me to, I'm going to say, all right, then it's up to you. You either go to this place or find a new place, and that's going to be up to you. And if it takes you a month to find a new location, you've lost a month of work. Going back to, you need to reach 256 hours. Any questions on that?
Not chef.
All right, we're good. Thank you, Genaro. All right, so please do your best to finish that learning plan today, because what that will allow me to do is as soon as I'm done here with you guys, I can get online and I can make some phone calls and see where we can go. We can send you, so on and so forth. All right, so let's get that done. Now, when you find a location, we're going to go here bi-weekly. All right. When you find a location, you're going to have to keep logs, and I have the document for you. All you're going to do is print it out, right? Students are required to submit a survey every 2 weeks. Biweekly means every 2 weeks, or every other week, every 2 weeks, all right? So students are required to submit a survey every 2 weeks through Blackboard. A link to each survey will be found in the content folder for that week. Each student will be asked the following: total hours worked for the week, your tasks performed, areas where you feel you have improved, areas that you are struggling, general observations about running a kitchen, and knowledge questions, okay? Surveys are used to ensure both your attendance to the course and your progress to the completion of your required 256 hours. Failure to complete I should say biweekly, surveys could result in being dropped from your course. If you decide that you're not going to turn these in, if you look up here, they're worth 300 points. If you're not turning them in, then that means you're not going to classes or you're not going to your location, and you're just going to be dropped from class. Keep that in mind. um, Biweekly timesheets. Students are required to keep a log of their capstone hours. This log will assist the student with staying on top of their hours along with assisting them with the assignments at the end of the semester. These logs are going to be somewhere where you can write a little bit of notes. This is what you experienced. This is what I did. Da, 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 da. What that's going to allow you to do is going to allow you to complete your essay at the end of the semester. Okay. You always go back to those. Now you're going to need one timesheet per every 2 weeks. Again, I'm going to show that to you. Okay. Um, your employer evaluations, you're going to have a specific form that your employers are going to fill out, and they're going to score you or your performance. Okay, so students are required to submit 3 evaluations during the semester. The first 2 are worth 100 points each, and the final one is worth 200 points. I was going to say 20. 200 points. Your direct supervisor responsible for filling out the rubric to provide an evaluation documentation of your progress. Most evaluations start off a little iffy, and then once we get down to the second evaluation, you should be getting the hang of it, and by the third evaluation, you should have shown significant improvement. We hope, right? To receive full points, you must receive a rating of strong skilled 8 out of 10 categories listed. You will need to submit an evaluation. Pay attention to this sentence. Let me highlight this one. You will need to submit your evaluations after completing 86 hours. When you reach 86 hours, submit the first evaluation. You're going to keep working. You're going to reach 172 hours. Submit your second evaluation. Then at the end of the semester, at 256 hours, you submit your third evaluation. Now, evaluations will be scanned and uploaded to a link provided on Blackboard. I'm going to show you where that is. Any questions on these?
Not chef.
If you guys wait, because I've had it before, if students wait, because again, when you reach 86, submit. 172, submit. Don't hold on to them. Students tend to hold on to them and submit all 3 of them at the end of the semester. When you submit all three of these to the end of the semester, these first two are just going to be zeros. So don't hold on to them. Submit them. All right. The essay. The student is required to complete a 2-page essay, APA format, after completing their experience. After you finish your experience, right? After you finish your hours, it will be a reflection of their overall experience. It's not a diary that on, I don't know, October 31st, we made a bunch of Halloween cupcakes or whatever, right? It's not a diary, or it's not a journal. It's you're going to just reflect on your experience. It should be super easy, especially if you have these time logs, right? The essay should cover all the things that they have learned, mention both the good and the bad, as well as unique experiences or opportunities that they've had. When we go to Blackboard, I go a little bit more in detail to give you more ideas on what you can write about, okay? Whew. Give me 1 second. Now, part of Capstone is you need to create a resume and you need to get it approved, all right? So it says students will be required to submit a resume by the last week of the semester. Please set up a time, this is very important, please set up a time when you can visit the Career and Employment Services so they can assist you in the progress. The resume should include your Capstone hours. Because remember, Capstone is going to be an internship. Internship is going to be work experience. Work experience. There's a link right here. If I click on this link, and I have it in Blackboard as well, if I click on this link, this is going to be the Career Services Office. So STC has this department that they specialize in assisting students to find a job, okay? So what you're going to do here is you're going to log in using your STC credentials. I am a student. This is who you are, all right? And you're going to use your STC credentials. It's going to ask you a whole bunch of questions. You can create a resume through this program. It's going to ask you your experience. It's going to ask you, I can't log in to it myself as a teacher right now, but it's going to ask you it can build a resume for you, one, or if you have already a resume created, you can upload it, all right? That being said, they get your resume, they review your resume, and if there's a little bit of issues or they can make it better, what they do is they send it back to you. They send you a message, you need to change this or adjust this, or perhaps if, da da da. Then it goes back to them. And however many times it takes for you guys to be back and forth. And then at one point, they're going to say, it's golden, it's awesome. It'll say approved. You're going to get an email, you're going to get a text message, one or the other, that says that your resume has been approved. That is the message that you're going to turn into me, whether it can be just a screenshot, your approved resume along with your screenshot of that approval. Okay. Now, what happens as far as this program, the Career Services Office, is they have an opportunity to hold on to your resume and put it out to the world so you can get phone calls and possibly people looking to hire. That is what's really cool about this department. All right. They're there to help you. Okay. Questions on this so far? Okay. So
Not yet.
thank you. The resume is worth so many points, and the approval letter is worth so many points. Now, that being said, please keep in mind, there's 13 students in these two classes combined. This department is not only here for you 13. They're here for 13,000 plus students, okay? What that means is if you wait till the end of the semester to start submitting, because remember, there's a lot of back and forth, if you wait till the end of the semester to start submitting, there's a very good chance that you're not going to get that approval in time. So I would start working on that ASAP, meaning as soon as possible. Because if you want to get full credit for this, you need to have both. If you only turn in your resume without the approval, you're getting half the points. And that's only if your resume is up to par. Okay, so I would not start later than October, just FYI, no, September. Make sure you start it before the end of September. I will send reminders here and there, but if you start already mid-October, there's a good chance that you're not going to get it done. All right? We good so far?
Yes, chef.
Yes, chef.
Awesome.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. The last thing that you are going to be doing for Capstone is going to be an evaluation of location. Excuse me, I got the hiccups. Evaluation of the assigned facility can be found on Blackboard on the last week content folder. It will need to be completed after your completion of your hours. These assessments are used to evaluate how effective the location is at providing a positive learning experience for our students. Now, this specific one is super important because this is going to be just like your location is evaluating you and your work skills. This is you evaluating the location. This is you being 100% honest with your instructor. This actually stays between just me and you. I don't turn this into anybody else but me and you. The purpose of this is going to be for you to be 100% honest, because if you had a very bad experience, which happens, I mean, when I was a student and I did my capstone, I can give you some stories, all right? Um, I would like to know what your experience is, so I know that to the future, I don't send any students there. Or maybe it's I mean, we've gotten some amazing partners that I love to send I love to send students to certain locations because I know that they are willing to accept our students and give them that positive reinforcement, encouragement, teaching them all that good stuff. Okay. So this is you being 100% honest with your responses in order to be able to assist future students. And that being said, here in a bit, once we get everything done, I'm going to read some stuff to you guys that students from the past have advice for you guys. Okay, but we'll do it at the very end. All right. As far as your uniform is concerned, we already know that we have our chef uniform, all that good stuff. We do request, remember that when you go to these locations, you are representing STC. You are not Jimena Espinosa on your own. You are not Carla Chavez on your own. You're not Genaro on your own. You are Jimena Espinosa from South Texas College, Culinary Arts. You are Carla Chavez from South Texas College, so on and so forth. Okay. So we do ask that you at least show up to your first meeting with your supervisor in your culinary arts uniform, nice and clean and pressed and whatnot, right? If they want you to still be in your uniform, you are more than welcome to stay in your uniform. Some locations would rather you wear their shirts, and some people don't really care. I remember that when I did, sorry about that. I remember when I did my capstone, my location, they didn't really care whether I wore my uniform or not. And I was so used to wearing my uniform, it was easier for me to wear my uniform because I knew I was going to stay safe. I knew I was going to stay clean, right? Or at least clean enough, right? Um, but at some point I was like, oh, you know what? My uniform got super dirty. Let me just wear a plain black t-shirt, a respectable t-shirt, and my chef pants or some pants that cover all the way. And then all of a sudden she got uniforms for her employees, and she wanted us as capstone students to wear her shirt as well. So that became our uniform. So my only request is that you show up representing STC as your chef uniform, and then you guys can have that discussion. All right. Um, we're going to go back. We're going to talk about other things. You do need to take or submit to me and have a paper copy for your location of your food handler. We already know we're not first semester students. We know that we need to have a food handler, an official and the word is escaping my mouth, valid, and a valid food handler certification. We already know that. Please make sure you submit that and make sure you have a printable copy because they need to have one for their files in case the city shows up at their location. All right. This is classroom behavior, and it's essentially the location is classroom behavior. We already know this. We're going to respect each other, respect each other's space. We're not touching anybody. We're not being disruptive. All of this. You all need to make sure you read this very, very carefully, just the way we've all discussed it in class. Your classroom is going to be your location. So you always want to, again, be respectful. Again, you are representing South Texas College Culinary Arts. Okay. We're going to keep going. Just like in school, you're going to have cleaning duties at these locations. Now, you're there to learn what it is to work in a real bakery, cake shop, restaurant, so on and so forth, right? Part of it is cleaning. Sometimes it's thrown out the trash. Maybe once in the blue moon, they'll ask you to, clean up a bathroom or something if it's part of the job. Now, if you are asked to do that on a daily basis and that's all you're doing, washing dishes, we already know, we've all taken culinary classes. Washing dishes is a big part of it. But if that's all you are doing and you are not baking, cooking, decorating, hands-on real skill experience, you need to contact me ASAP. Okay? Because we're not sending you to just wash dishes or just be sweeping or just rolling silverware. Okay? We are we are placing you so you can grow in your skill. Okay? Let's make sure we get that clean. Get that clean, get that clear. That we're not to be cleaning 100% of the time. Okay? We already know assignments will be given throughout the semester. Really, the only assignments that you have throughout the semester is going to be the survey and the timesheet, which we're going to talk about. And then at the end, you have your resumes, your essays, and your evaluations. Okay. So assignments will be given out throughout the semester to foster the practice of skills learned in class. In other words, your location. It will be required that all assignments are turned in through Blackboard on time. Late assignments will not be accepted to full credit. I'm going to tell you, and again, until you see it on Blackboard, your assignments are going to, if you don't turn them in by the due date, you will no longer see them. They're going to disappear. There's no extra credit. Let's not even read that because there is no extra credit for this class whatsoever. When you are submitting online for information, please make sure you pay attention to your netiquette. I always bring this one here. Do not. So netiquette is like etiquette. Etiquette is how you behave out in public. Netiquette, internet netiquette. Netiquette is how you behave online and how you write online. So I always bring this one up. Do not write in all caps. This is considered yelling or screaming online. So there are little things that you may or may not know. I used to write all caps to get my point across. Apparently, I was yelling at a whole lot of people. So please make sure you take some time and read this. Um, Academic dishonesty and artificial intelligence, AI. You're not going to have too many opportunities to take advantage of AI in class because what I'm asking of you for this class, what I'm asking of you is stuff that has to do more with your own opinion, not what the computer thinks. It's your experience. The only times I have had students do AI is to maybe make something sound a little bit more professional, which is totally acceptable, with the understanding that you need to make sure you read what it made for you, right? If you're trying to tell me and you don't know how to use your words properly, if you're trying to tell me of what an exciting day you had and all of a sudden it starts talking about fish and you have nothing to do with fish, I'm just going to give you 0 for it because that just means you didn't read it. You still need to do your part as a human. It's AI still needs to have a human aspect to it, meaning you still need to read what it automatically wrote. So let's use this for example. We know AI exists. We can't do anything about it. How many of you all have seen all these videos and they're like these crazy AI things and then they look so real and then all of a sudden the baby has a third leg, right? Or the cow has a fifth leg. It's AI. It's something that's generated and they still need to tweak it. The same thing happens when we write things in school. Please make sure you read what you're doing, all right, what you're submitting. All this stuff here, this just kind of goes back to what I was saying, asking instructor expectations from your students. This is my office hours. We don't have discussion boards. We don't have exams. Basically says, if we did, turn them in on time, use proper language, follow the AI, follow academic dishonesty, excuse me, and follow etiquette. Oh, excuse me, I got the hiccups. I just had lunch. Students' expectations from your instructor. I will, so this is what you were to expect of me. When can I, the student, expect to receive an answer to my questions? The instructor will answer questions within 48 hours. So remember that pronto is going to be the best way to get a hold of me. Remember that we teach other classes. We do teach other classes, and so sometimes I can't respond right away because maybe I'm having dinner or maybe I'm in a class, maybe I'm busy for whatever reason. I'm in a meeting, whatever. All right, so give us a little bit of time to respond to you. If anything, I might respond with, I'm a little bit busy. I'll let you know, I don't know, in about an hour, or remind me in an hour or something, right? I usually try to respond with things like that, but do give us at least 48 hours. I do try to grade this. I do try to grade these things very not quickly, but often, right? I do try to get all your grades, but it does say to at least give us 5 days to get your stuff graded, right? Um, this is going to be the outline for our semester. So if you look at here, remember it's bi-weekly. So right here, we are August 25th, started yesterday, the week of August 25th through September 10th is going to be the first if you see this little quotations, this means it's the same thing as above. Okay, so for these two, the survey log number 1 and the learning plan fall in these dates. Okay, that's week 1 and week 2. These are going to be the due dates. So you can see that for the learning plan, your due date is today. We're going to get you, hopefully, working and doing your hours this week. The goal is this week. And so then you're going to start collecting your hours on your timesheet and you're going to submit no later than September 10th. 2 weeks later, for the next 2 weeks, week 3 and 4, is the days between September 8th to 24th. You're going to have a survey and log number 2. It's due on this date. After these dates, guys, that survey and that log disappears from you. You're not going to see it on your Blackboard anymore. It'll open up the next one. Okay. That being said, right here, you should reach your first evaluation, your 86 hours by week 4 or 5, depending when we get you started. Week 4 or 5, you should be reaching your 86 hours, which means your first evaluation plan. By October 8th, you should have it turned in. Okay. We keep going, keep going, keep going. Your second evaluation plan, your second evaluation, you should be reaching 172 hours at around week 10 or 11. And I'm giving you a whole week to get that turned in. So on and so forth. If you look down here, the last day of the semester is going to be December 12th. Remember, these quotations mean that it's the same thing as above. So come December 1st, I'm going to open up all of this stuff for you to submit. You will not see this available to you until September 1st. Okay? December 1st, sorry, December 1st. All right. Any questions on this?
Not yet.
Hmm. I just spilled my water. Thank you. Um, I'm going to show you on Blackboard how everything's going to work. Okay. All of these guys, you guys need to take your time. We already know this. We've gone over it. All your instructors have gone over it. The only one thing, Starfish, you know that we're going to submit progress reports. You need to go over this carefully. There's just a few things that I do have to read. And of course, it's going to be this one here. South Texas College does not discriminate or tolerate discrimination against any employee, applicant of employment, student, or applicant for admissions on the basis of race, color, national origin, ethnicity, religion, age, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, gender expression, pregnancy, parental status, disabilities, genetic information, veteran status, or any other protected category under the applicable local, state, or federal laws. This pretty much means STC loves you. We love everybody no matter what. Okay. Please take some time to read all of these things, guys. It all pertains to everybody. All right, so take some time. There should be phone numbers attached to information. Remember, if you are an ADA student, we have our Americans with Disabilities Act statement. We have services for you all. Veterans qualify, or family of veterans qualify for a lot of benefits. So please take some time and reach out to the Veterans Office if you fall under any of those categories. Remember your student handbook, all right? I understand that you are going to be working outside of the actual campuses, but you still have to abide by the student handbook, all right? When you sign up to be a South Texas College student, you are signing also that you will be abiding by that handbook. So please make sure you take some time and look at all this stuff, all right? All right, that's enough for our syllabus. So this is our Blackboard. Again, stop me if you need me. This is our Blackboard. This here takes you to the link that we're in right now. When this video is over, I'm going to take that link off and I'm going to put, as soon as they send me the link for the recording, I'm going to put that recording right there at the very top. That way you always have access to it, okay? If you go here to the Start Here button, this is your syllabus, what we just went through. Your instructor information, this tells you a little bit about me. If you want to read it, if you care to know a little bit about me, this one talks about just a little bit of things. All right. Again, my office hours, office information, and everything we just went to, from the description to the prereqs to the PLOs, CLOs, netiquette, all of that is here. It's just an easier way for you, a faster way for you to get to it. Okay. So take some time. All of these here are going to be phone numbers, links for different locations, different resources that we have here at STC. If you need tutoring for anything, any subject, remember that when you sign up for South Texas College, you're also signing up to use their free tutoring services. The library is available for you guys. If you are needing to do a video for anything, I know for some of my classes, I asked you all to do videos for cake decorating and for whatever. We have other things. You have all these things at your fingertips. You have any counseling, all the veterans' phone numbers, everything here. Tech support. We are an online class. Say, for example, something happens and you are going on vacation and you're going to Cancun, but you still need to have access to your computer for school. I wish we could all go to school in Cancun, right? Anyways, there are certain routes that you can go through to be able to have a special access from Mexico to here, from Canada to here, right? If we do have a 24-hour line, if you are having issues and you're trying to submit and you need to submit at 4 o'clock, if you're anything like me, I'm up at 3, 4 o'clock in the morning doing things on the computer. This will allow you to if you're having issues, you contact that 24-hour line to be able to help. Here's the tech support one, right? All these numbers, so 24/7 telephone number, all right? These are just resources for you to look at. Right here is your outline and information, the same thing that was on Blackboard. This is going to be your outline, maybe a little bit clearer, all right? Important things here, your evaluations. Look at this. Students must complete 256 capstone hours in order to receive a passing grade. All right, so make sure we're on our hours. You have your Pronto down here. Remember, Pronto is probably going to be the best way. You can also email me. You can also call me. You can also send us Blackboard messages, but just keep in mind that on Blackboard messages, we don't get like a notification like, hey, you have a message through Blackboard, click here, right? So it's just whenever we just randomly see it. So your best bet, like I said, if you send me an email, I get a notification that you send me an email. If you called my office and you left a message, it'll send me a notification that you called my office or someone called my office and left a message. And I can even listen to that message on my phone, from my office phone to my cell phone. And then of course, Pronto, like I said. All right. Um, Let's jump up to, let's look here. Let's go to week 1. So right off the bat, week 1 is this week. You do have a learning plan and your food handler certification. Let's go this to-do list. To-do list. There we go. Letter to present to the employer, which I'm going to show you right now. Your evaluation forms, and then here are your due dates for the following 3 things. Your learning plan is due today at midnight, 11:59 p.m. Your food handler certification, I am giving you until, I believe this is Sunday, August 31st to submit that. And remember to have an extra printout, even if it's in black and white. If you don't have a computer and you say, I don't have how to print, like I said, STC, you have the library, you have the CLE, and you have all sorts of labs throughout the campus. You paid for it when you paid for your tuition, okay? And your first survey and logs are due on Wednesday, September 10th. So we'll come back to that. Now, what is that letter that I was talking about? If you go up here to documents, and I put it on top, that way it's easier for you to find. Here are a few documents that you're going to use for your capstone. So this one right here, this is going to be a letter that you need to print out. Again, print out. You need to have it printed to take to your first meeting with your supervisor. So this one here, I'm just going to skim through it. I'm not going to read the whole thing. This explains to the supervisor. Let me see if I can. Well, I need to hide this. Hold on. Can I move this? I'm trying to move this little thing here. Get out of the way. Okay. So this explains to the supervisor what their purpose is, what role they play, how to assist you all. This is my phone number in my office, right? This tells them when the semester starts and when the semester ends. So your capstone hours start August 25th through December 12th. That's how much time you have to complete the required 256 hours before the end of December 12th. Now, that being said, right here, this is explains to your location, your supervisor, the internship consists of 256 hours. A minimum, meaning the least you can do a week, is 18 hours a week, guys. 18 hours a week. If you take that 256 hours, and I'm going to show you here, right? 256 divided by 18 hours, you should have your hours done in 14 and a half weeks. All right. Now, what I did there is I set it up for you to have this, the semester is 16 weeks. 16 weeks. Now, if you work at least 18 hours a week, that gives you that last week to be able to work on your evaluate your final evaluations, your essays, your resume. Maybe you're still working on that. All right. It gives you, if you finish everything by week 15, you are golden, guys, because that allows you, a lot of you all are taking other classes. So that allows you that whole week of capstone free. But that is only if you do 18 hours per week starting this week. Now, maybe we start our hours in the middle of this week and you don't reach your 18, that's fine. Because you've got a little, do more than 18. If you do more than 18, maybe you want to do 20 for the next few weeks. If you get ahead of the game, We never know. Sometimes our kids get sick. Sometimes we get sick and we're not going to be able to do 18 hours. But that's going to allow us to later on, you know what? I was sick last week. How about I stay another 3 hours today? Right? They will work with you. Right? In addition to your hours, so again, this is telling the supervisor that you have to work 200. They have to give you 256 hours. They are agreeing as partners of STC, agreeing to give you at least 256 hours, a minimum of 18 hours per week. It is telling them that they will need to fill out 3 evaluation forms. All right. Um, it is telling them their responsibilities. If you get hurt there, it's not their responsibility. It's on you. You can purchase your own insurance, so on and so forth. All right. You need to make sure you read this before you show up to that location with them so you understand. This is, again, my information, my office number if they have any questions. Now, if I am assigning you, let's make one thing clear. If I am assigning you a location, if I'm assisting you with assigning you a location, they already know that we're going to send them students. They might not know who exactly we're sending, but they know that they've already made that agreement. We've had that conversation. Now, if you know of a location, one, and they are not partners, if you are already working somewhere that you think they could possibly take you in as a capstone student, but are not partners, if all these people are not partners, I need to sit down and have a conversation with them. I need to meet with them, even if it's over the phone. You need to speak with them, and if they say yes, that they're willing to take you as a capstone student, then I need to speak with them um, to make sure that they're willing to abide by this information, to let them know what is expected of them. Now, you know what? Let me stop sharing really quick my page so y'all can see me. Okay. That being said, when you choose, so there are locations. I know that students always have the question of, am I getting paid? You're getting paid, maybe not in money, but you are getting paid in hours. Again, that work experience, and that work experience is worth a lot. Now, there are locations. We STC have nothing to do with you getting paid financially, right? If you find a location, or even if it's one of our partners, that is willing to pay you money and give you um, capstone hours, that is totally between you and them. That has nothing to do with STC. Well, chef, I don't want to go to a location that's not going to give me money. Well, then guess what? You're going to have to find your location. And if it takes you a month to find that location, then that's on you. You lost a month. So now you have to work more than 18 hours per week, right? You got to figure that out. Like I said, not all locations will want to pay you money. They'll pay you in experience, in hours. They're doing you the favor. Just make that clear. They're doing you the favor of taking you on, taking an inexperienced student on to help them grow. Please make sure you understand that, right? Um, any questions on that?
No, chef.
No?
Not chef.
Okay. The same thing goes like, well, I don't want to go work somewhere if I'm not going to get hired afterwards. That is between you and the location. They're signing up to give you 256 hours only. If you do an amazing job, we have a lot of capstone students that have stayed at their capstone locations because they show that they've done such an amazing job and they're impressed. But not everybody is like that. Just please keep that in mind. All right. If you're lucky enough to stay on there because you've grown or you've done this amazing job, then great. Other than that, 200, and please keep in mind, if you have not reached your 256 hours, but yet you have to remember that this is a location that it's real money, right? And if it's an issue that maybe you're not meeting their expectations in the sense of maybe you're costing them money because you haven't practiced your measurements or you never really worked on your skill as a student and you're costing them more money than they're actually bringing in, that could be an issue. So just keep these things in mind. All right. This is going to be them pretty much testing you and seeing what you know and if you can grow. All right. Questions?
Not chefs.
All
No.
right. Awesome. Let me share my screen again so we can continue. Ahí vamos. Okay. So make sure we print this out. Make sure you read it. Okay, sorry, we're still here in documents. Here's going to be your work log. The attached log is to be filled out daily by the student to assist the students with keeping track of their hours throughout the semester and assisting with the end of the semester assignments. Each log includes the capstone hours and worked within the 2 weeks in question. So if you go onto here, this is what it looks like. I'm going to zoom in. You need to make sure you put your name, where you're doing your location, your A number, your supervisor. Work log number, what? You're on the first one, are you in the 10th one, are you on the 5th one? Which one is it? Hours worked on and the dates. The 2 weeks that you've logging in, right? So this one, the very first one should say work log number 1, hours worked on August 25th through, I don't remember what it was, September 10th, I believe, something like that. The date, start date, this is supposed to help you. This total hours is going to be how many hours did you work on that specific date? What did you do? Was there something specific that stood out to you that specific day? Um, let's fill that out. You're going to continue going. If you need to print more than one out for your 2 weeks, which a lot of you are going to have to, that's okay. All right. You can do here, page 1. Here, page 2. At the end, you're going to add up all your hours here down the middle. How many hours did you work for that specific log for that week, those 2 weeks? On the bottom, you do need to fill this out. Total semester hours worked. Now this one here is you're going to add up log 1 plus log 2. How many hours have you worked since August 20, what do we say, 25th? How many hours have you worked? So the first one should match this one. Your log number 2, you have new hours here, and it'll be log 1 plus log 2, so on and so forth. Log number 3 is going to be those 3 logs, give me a total number, all right? I keep closing it. And then the last thing is your evaluation forms is going to be right here. Remember, you must turn them in after reaching 86 hours, 172 hours, and then your final one at 256, right? If you look, this is what it looks like. It's a 2-page, it's a 2-pager, all right? Make sure you fill this out nice and clearly, and then your direct supervisor will fill this out. Throughout the semester, I will be reaching out to your supervisors, just kind of having conversations. I do a lot of site visits, so I might pop in at your location, so on and so forth, okay? And then they sign it, you sign it. That's going to be, all 3 things are going to be in this document form. And then just like that, submit as you go. Do not wait until the end of the semester to submit all evaluations. If students submits all 3 at the end of the semester, a grade of 0 will be given to evaluation 1 and 2 for late submissions. All right, let's make sure we're clear on that. Okay, so how do these evaluations work? Or I'm sorry, not evaluations. So I'm going to come back to this weekly survey. Here's going to be your evaluation submission. 1, 2, 3. Again, I put hours on each one and due dates on each one. And your evaluation of location, this one's going to be at the end of the semester, these 2. Your essay and your resume. So right here, Capstone essay. This is the one I tell you I put a little bit more. Oh, did it not attach? Oh, I need to, wait, hold on, view instructions. I know what I'm doing. Student will need to complete a 2-page reflection essay about their overall experience at their assigned capstone location. Remember that this is your opinion, not AI's or anyone else's, okay? So I'm just looking for your opinion, guys. And I'm not looking for you to talk like a scholar, and I'm not looking for you to talk like a, I don't know, a brain surgeon. I wanna have this conversation. Talk to me normally, all right? I want to be able to understand what you're talking about. Please make sure that you read these things very carefully. I clarified on what my expectations are. Minimum of 2 pages. In the rubric, let me see if I can open up the rubric. Look at this. You can actually see how I'm grading you. Correct settings. Did you give me 2 pages? If you gave me 1 page and like a page and 3/4, I'm going to deduct points, guys. I'm literally looking for 2 pages. Okay. Did you do the 12-point font? Did you do the Times New Roman? Do you have punctuations correctly? Do you have proper grammar? All right. Oh, and that's not what I meant to do. All right. That's where your quality of writing is, your proper grammar, all that. Take some time to read this. All right. The essay, it should include positive experiences, negative experiences. What is your biggest improvement? What is the one thing you struggled the most at the beginning and now is awesome at the end of the semester? What is your biggest challenge? How did you overcome it? What is your favorite part and why? What is your least favorite part and why? What advice would you give to future capstone students? And anything else you want to tell me on there to give me my minimum of 2 pages, right? Um, Remember that I am not asking you what you did every day. I don't need to know, pues on April 4th, I did this, and on April 5th, I did this, and on April 6th, and that's not what I'm asking you, right? It's not a journal, it's not a diary. You're going to submit the document or the essay using this attached icon here, okay? Questions on your essay and your employee evaluations.
Not chef.
No, we're good. I'm pretty clear. I think I'm pretty clear in everything. Here is going to be, again, view instructions. That's a new button they added to our thing. View instructions. So this is that College Central, that career services, okay? And they offer other things, guys. So first of all, this just tells you the exact same thing on what I told you before. Log in using your SGC credentials, submit your essay, get it for review, get your submission letter, all that. There's phone numbers if you're having issues. There's a phone number. I don't know anything about College Central in the sense of, well, it's not going through. You need to call them. You need to email them. You need to contact them. There's an actual location here at STC, okay? You need to go and contact them if you're having issues, right? I believe that the people that are going to help you with that more than anything is the computer lab that's right next to the cafeteria here at Pecan Campus, I believe, right? The link is right here. It takes you directly to this one that I showed you before, okay? They also have, just FYI, they also have, oh, it's called Career Closet. I believe it's called Career Closet. Um, those of you that are looking for, maybe you don't have the clothes for an interview, right? They take donations, or maybe you need to donate your stuff for interviews. All right. Anyways, they take donations and they have a closet that students can go and pick out clothes for free to be able to impress, dress to impress for their um, interviews. Okay. Mm, all right, we did that. That's where you're going to submit both things. Now let's jump up to here, your weekly surveys. So you see how here you only see week 1 and week 2, correct? Now this one here, if I look at the calendar, I want to pull up the calendar so you can see it. So this one says hours worked from August 25th to August 7th. So if you look here, August 25th, look at my calendar. till September, not August 7th, September 7th, September 7th. Okay. But look when the due date is. The due date is September 10th. So I only want to know about the hours that you worked between August 25th to September 7th. And then I'm giving you 3 days to submit. At midnight, this will go away. As soon as that clock hits midnight, this here will go away. Now, evaluation 2, I'm sorry, not evaluation, survey and log 2 going to open up on September 8th. You'll see it. You don't see it right now, but you're going to see it on the 8th. You'll see that one, and it's going to be from the 8th. Everything you worked from the 8th until the 21st. And then it's going to be due no later than the 24th. Okay. And I want you, I'm going to close this off. That's how you guys see it as a student. If you look at it as a teacher, I want you to see. This is how it's going to look. You're going to see this one and this one. And on September 8th, survey 2 is going to open, but these two are going to go away on the 10th. This one goes away on the 24th, and the next one will open on the 22nd. And that's all it's going to go through the whole entire semester. 2 are going to open, 2 are going to close. 2 are going to open, 2 are going to close. You need to submit no later than Wednesday every other week. Okay? Questions, comments, or concerns right now? Okay.
No.
So what we're going to do is you all need to fill out your learning plan today if you haven't already. And I'm going to go by whoever did it first. So whoever did it first will start getting assigned first. So I will contact that location, looking at what you are writing in your learning plan, reading what's in your learning plan. It's going to be a first come, first serve. The 2 people that are already on here that already filled those out, I'm going to get to you guys first, right? I'm going to find a location for you guys. I'm going to send you a pronto message and a Blackboard message that will also go to your email. There's a little button that says send to the email of where you're assigned, who to contact. You need to call them by phone first, okay? So make sure you're keeping note of this. So you need to, I'm going to assign you. I'm going to send you that message. You need to send me a message with a thumbs up or something. Okay, chef, I'll call them right away. You need to contact them by phone, ASAP, to make an appointment to meet with them. Some of these locations are saying, will say, just come to work on this day, the first day, right? Again, in full uniform, all nice and neat, with a copy of your food handler and a copy of that letter. Oh, I need to stop sharing my thing. Hold on. Stop sharing. Okay, there we go. Sorry about that. Okay, assigned, send you the thing. You need to call them. You need to set up an appointment to meet with them. Take a copy of your letter to employer. You need to take a copy of your food handler and start working on your schedule. A lot of these locations, because part of them partnering up with STC is they should be willing to work around your school schedule. Let's make that one clear, around your school schedule. Right. Already have some sort of an idea of schedule. You need to be able to say, I have class on this day, so I can't work on this day, or I can only do this time to this time. But also when you're doing your schedule, keep that thing, keep in mind a minimum of 18 hours. Where are you going to fit 18 hours within that 1 week? Not bi-weekly, 18 hours within that 1 week. All right. Then you all work on your schedule, you and your employer. You send me a message telling me I'm going to start my capstone hours Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. And that's all I need to know. I'm going to give you like a thumbs up and I'm like, cool, yay, hooray. Um, if there are ever any issues, now in your surveys, if you look at your survey, I'm going to actually open up a different one, not just, let me open up one from later in the week, later in the semester. Let's see here. This one, this one. So in any of these surveys, let's open up just a super random one. Oops, I closed it. Let's just go to 3. Oh, wait. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So you'll have questions. Tell me how many hours you work, just like in your log. How many capstone hours did you work these past 2 weeks? I know it says past week, but it's supposed to be past 2 weeks, right? Um, Only within the dates on the title of their survey. Here's the survey. Where did you work on these dates? If you go down to the bottom, every survey is going to have this. Use this question for any additional comments or concerns that you might have. Again, this is where you're being honest with me and telling me how you feel, or if there's something that happened. If it's something that's urgent, you need to call me or message me. Chef, I need to talk to you as soon as possible, or blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to tell you that everybody, all these people or all these locations are 100% saintly, meaning that they're sweet and precious and are the sweetest people in the world. It's just life, right? Kitchens are doggy dog world, right? So I need to know, because if my students are not being heard, if my students are not learning, if my students are being verbally abused, if my students are, and even it happens a lot with people who are not our partners, and the student has work, not a lot, but it happens, right? If they're in a location they already work at, or they're a location that is a new partner to us, and they don't understand that it's not just free help, it's them teaching us things. Now, is it always a positive vibe? Not always. Sometimes we get negative vibes. I mean, like I said, when I was a student, I had my issues. I learned a lot. Chef Ruben was my instructor, and I actually really wanted to get out of my Capstone location because they were not meeting my standards, first of all, but they weren't meeting my or the some of the sanitation standards. Or at least they weren't meeting my sanitation standards, which a lot of it had to do with the lack of training. Um, And as much as I wanted out, Chef Ruben made a statement to me, which made a lot of sense. And he said, if at one point you want to own your own business, you're learning what not to do, right? The location that I was at also had their family working and treated their family really ugly and really bad and talked to them really ugly in front of everybody else, which kind of like we felt it the same thing. And it was a very toxic place to work at. But again, Chef Ruben put it in my head. You're learning things and how not to treat your employees. I learned a lot. Not just that, but I mean, I learned a lot from my baking, decorating skills, everything. I learned a lot. I did learn a lot of really good things, but I also learned how not to treat people. I learned what not to do as far as sanitation and safety is concerned. So we need to make sure we keep those things in mind, right? Um, that being said, I look forward to seeing what you have to say during your learning plan. I look forward to finding locations for everybody. My goal is to get everybody placed this week. Okay. If you fail to turn in your learning plan, that means you don't want to get placed, which means you're just looking for a location on your own, which it shouldn't be. We're here to help. Now, we do have partnership list. I know some of you guys have already asked me for it. That list is a private list because it's got a lot of private phone numbers. A lot of students have actually burned a lot of our bridges, meaning we've given that they have, not we, they have given that list out before and they've made phone calls and they leave people hanging and all that. No, that's not how this is going to work, guys. I will find a location suitable for you to where you live. Your question, if you read the questions to the learning plan, where you live, what your goal is, so on and so forth. I'm going to do my best to match you up with a location. Now, if you're not happy with your location, you need to make contact with me and you need to find another location on your own. But that also means that you are going to have to excuse yourself because this is just like a real job, you guys, right? You're going to have to excuse yourself from a partner that belongs to STC, apologize to them for having to leave, so on and so forth. But I'm hoping we're not going to get there, all right? Don't burn a bridge that STC has worked really hard to build. All right. I mean, things happen. Sometimes we have to, just like class, we have to drop a class, but you do have to excuse yourself from that class. So that kind of works the same way. I'm hoping that we don't have to get to that point, but if we do, then we will cross that bridge when we get there, and hopefully we won't cross it while it's on fire. All right. Any questions? Or at the end of the review or the end of Blackboard. Any questions? This is the time to ask, because if you have a question, I'm sure that someone else has that question. Okay, where is the learning plan? Let me share here.
No se escucha.
Okay, there. Can you hear me now?
Sí,
Yes.
yes.
Okay,
Yes,
perfect.
we
I
hear
pressed
you.
the wrong button. Y'all. Okay, let me go back to sharing. And let's go here. A ver. Let me find it. Let me get everything situated back again. Okay. Let's get out of this one. So let me go student view just to make sure you can see it. Student view. If you go here, it'll be under week 1. And right here, learning plan fall 2025. You click on that. You start your attempt. And here are your questions. What is your full name? A number. Please provide an email address. An email address you will check on a regular basis. I'm going to tell you that the only email I really check is my school email. I don't check my personal email. So make sure it's an email that you are constantly checking. Also, a phone number that we can get a hold of you that you will respond if need be.
Chef, a mí no me sale eso en la week 1.
Vamos a ver. Are you in Capstone con el certificate or the associates?
No, el learning plan no me salen las preguntas, no me salen.
Sí, pero
No tengo nada.
I know, pero are you getting your certificate or your associates? Let me see. Let me check the other one. Hold on. Let me check the other one. Hold on. This one is for the certificate. Let me open the associates just to make sure. Let's
Yeah, I
look.
think associates doesn't have it.
It doesn't have it? Okay, let me look. The associates, ¿dónde está? ¿Dónde está week 1? Week 1, mira, because it's hiding it. Good job. Visible. Mira. Visible. I would try it again, do a refresh. And there it is. This is the way, this is student view, week 1. There it is. I'm sorry about that, guys. And let me see if the other stuff is open. The evaluation is open. Everything is open. Your resumes. Okay. Your week 1 log. Okay, there we go. It was just I hadn't opened it up for you guys. I do apologize about that. But there it is. Okay. And then you click start. ¿Sí se vio, Jimena?
Sí, ya se vio.
Okay, perfect. All right. Be as specific as you can on certain things. FYI, in all the surveys, you do have questions. Everything is worth points. If you leave it blank, it's going to be a 0. All right. So for example, this one is worth 50 points. If you say, but my name's already up on top, I'm not going to put my name. Okay, you just lost 5 points. Easiest points you can get, guys. Easy points. And let me see, that's not what I want. Stop sharing. More questions. Now is the time.
Are we gonna have more meetings and when?
If we have more meetings, it will be more of a one-on-one. Okay, unless, oh, you know what, we're going to do, yes, I'm going to say yes. I'm going to schedule a meeting because we do have a gala coming up. Okay, let me go back. Great question. I'm going to come back to that. We have events. We do have events outside of STC. We have, you guys have been at STC at least a year, right? Everybody at least a year. You guys know that we have events throughout the semester that you guys, you as Capstone students, will have an opportunity to volunteer for. For example, we have the big event of called the gala. We're going to need volunteers to help make and bake things, make and bake and cook. We're going to have volunteers to go and serve and work the gala. We also have, in the fall, we have a lot of activities and a lot of opportunities for you, Capstone students and other classes, other students, but this is an opportunity for you, STC Capstone, to get more hours. Maybe you fell behind on your hours because you didn't turn in your learning plan, or you were sick, or your kids were sick, whatever the excuse is. Maybe you're behind, or maybe you were not behind and you want to make extra so you can finish your hours before the end of the semester, before when it's due. You're going to have that opportunity. We have Thanks for Giving. Thanks for Giving is a lot of baking, guys. Thanks for Giving is going to be that fundraiser that we do in the fall, that we sell. We do a virtual bake sale, meaning faculty and staff get to order food from us and we raise money for the food pantry upstairs. You're going to have other opportunities. Now, the gala and the gala's in October. So what I want to do is I will have another meeting for those of you who are available or who would like to help with the gala. Now, also understand that for the gala and the Thanks for Giving things, for almost anything that we do here is going to be a first come, first serve, meaning we're only going to take the first, I don't know, 10 people. The gala is a very formal thing. If you don't know what a gala is, it's where everybody wears tuxedos and ties and the girls get all prettied up in dresses and diamonds and blah, 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 right? It's very, very awesome to experience. But also remember that they're only taking so many students. So as soon as I know of an opportunity where you Capstone students can make up more hours, I will put that information out. Okay, so once I know like the schedule for the gala, I'll put it out for you guys. I'll most likely put it out and there's an announcement, and or I usually do both as a pronto message, like, hey, we're taking volunteers for gala, blah, blah, blah. Those will be opportunities. But for the big one is the gala, so I will most likely do a meeting. If anything else, as soon as your evaluations are coming in, I will contact you individually to meet one-on-one because everybody's experience is going to be different. And also, if there's any issues with your evaluation or with your location, if the location contacts me, we've had where locations contact us and say, hey, we're having issues, we can't take them, or this and that, if you can address this or this, just like you can come to me to talk to me about your experience, they can also come to me and talk about your experience. If there's something that we need to meet, it will most likely be on a one-on-one. We might have one more class meeting just to kind of touch base. That was a very good question. Did that answer your question? I think it was Henaro. I think it was the one that asked it. I'm not sure who it was.
It was me, yes. It did
Yeah.
answer it.
Okay, perfect. Any other
Thanks.
questions?
I got a question. Where do we
Mhm.
go to fill out the resume that we go?
So the resume, again, I will share it real quick. Okay, so if you go to, this is how you see it. Here's week 1. If you go all the way down to the bottom, it says resume and approval submission. You click on that. You click on view instructions. If you click here where it says College Central, it takes you to this. And this is where you fill out and you submit your resume. Remember to use I am a student, and then you use your STC credentials. Okay. And then it takes you through the whole process. This is just another way. If you for other things like I said, the closet. If you need help prepping for an interview, they do all this stuff for you guys. This is a whole website that helps you find a job, find a career. Right. This is that job search in your resume, so on and so forth. This is just another link I put on it, but that looks like here. Again, this is what it looks like on Blackboard for you guys right now. If you go all the way to the bottom, find the one that says essay and resume, and then you have resume and approval, view instructions, and these are the two links. Did we get it? Did we understand that?
Yes, Chef.
Perfect. Gregorio, did that answer your question?
Yes, thank you.
Perfect. Perfect. I'm here to help, guys. If you have questions, of course, always reach out to us. ¿Qué más? What else? And more questions, more questions. Okay, before I end this, I am going to, so we had Capstone during the summer. And so one of the questions we asked our students is, what advice do you have for future, let me find it, hold on, future students, future Capstone students, and this is the advice that they had for you. Let me just find it. All right, it's all the way at the bottom. Wait, nope, that's the wrong one. That's 24. That's why it wasn't coming out. Summer 25. And let's see here. This one says, at the very bottom, it says here. So it says, what is one piece of advice? I'm not going to share it because it shows student information, but I'm just going to read it to you. It says, what is one piece of advice that you would give to future Capstone students? And then this person said, one piece of advice I would give to Capstone student is to manage their time wisely, because they don't have the whole time in the world to do it. If someone places an order at 3:30, that person is expected to pick up that order at 3:30. There are cases when some people show up late, but you can't rely on that everyone will be on time with to pick up their order. You have to be able to juggle tasks around. And then the next person says they didn't write anything. So they didn't write anything. And let me look at the other class. So the first one's basically time management. Make sure you get your stuff out on time, right? I'm my cake decorators. Those of you that have had me for cake decorating, that's a big one, right? If someone places an order at 3:30 and they're gonna come on, if they place an order to be picked up at 3:30, you better believe they're gonna be there even before 3:30. So make sure that you're managing your time wisely and that your orders are out on time. Let's see here. This one says, pay close attention and follow instructions with surgical precision. You must have the patience to work under pressure. That's a big one. Learn to work as a team and never forget to be polite to your team. That's a big one, because remember what I was telling you, what I got out of my location. I remember the owner not being so nice to people. So be polite, because when they're nice to you, they do their job better. Okay. And we have two more advices. Let's see here. This one says, be honest with yourself, but don't get lazy. I found myself suffocating myself with work. In other words, trying to get so many hours in. I found myself suffocating with work and the stress of keeping up. But I never took a break and eventually almost burned myself out. It took that. Let me read this real quick. Okay, so it took taking a step back to realize that it's not that serious. I felt that my capstone was just too important to fall back. It's okay to take breaks and give yourself time to recharge. Don't ever stop taking care of yourself and your body. You can't do it all at all these hours in one time. I think they got confused at the end. So that's pretty much telling you is a lot of students want to say, I need to finish fast. Take a break. Sometimes, again, my cake decorating students, I say, let's take a break. Let's walk out. Let's take a break. Stop doing. Da, da, da. You need to recharge your body. Don't overdo yourself. And then the last piece of advice says, one piece of advice I'd give is to not stress too much. The same thing. And always ask questions. Never be afraid to speak up if someone's confusing or if something goes wrong. It helps you stay open to learning. Also, see every mistake as a lesson and enjoy the experience while it lasts. That's a very good piece of advice. All of that what she said, right? Of course, take care of your body, make sure you're okay, don't stress out too much. Speaking up, y'all. Speaking up is a big one. And I don't mean like speak louder. Speak louder, of course. Always speak louder. But I mean, if you're having problems, remember that I think most us culinary instructors tell you, if you don't ask questions, means you know everything at 100% and you're going to do amazing. Everything's perfect. That means you don't need to learn anything, right? You need to be able to ask questions. Use this time. Capstone is an amazing time to learn a lot, right? You're learning on somebody else's dollar, meaning they're putting in the money to help to teach you, basically. Okay. Um, Also, it says here the last sentence I love. It says also see every mistake as a lesson. You learn, right? You make a mistake. Capstone is where you need to make your mistakes. Okay, that way you can learn better for next time, right? Any questions, y'all? Are we good?
I think
Yes, I think.
I think everybody's okay. Let me see who's here. Dana didn't make it in. And let's see here. Is AJ here? I don't see AJ here. Miss Bailey, is Miss Bailey here? I see Bailey. And this is Miss Margarita. Margarita. Okay. If there are no more questions, let me go ahead and turn off my recording real quick. Maybe it didn't record. Oh, there it is. Stop recording. Recording is stopped.